Hi, this is Avira from Scrappy Mania, and today we're going to discuss about color pencils. Now, I've been watching some videos, and also I've been looking at the Spectral Norm Crafter Companion blendable pencils. They're watercolor pencils, and they look very good. I mean, I saw a video or a tutorial by Paper Wishes, and they were showing you how to blend these pencils. And what you get is you get 3 different shades of, let's say, red, and then you can blend them just like if there were alcohol markers. They just look almost like alcohol markers. And so I really like these watercolor pencils, and they have different color schemes. Like this one is a floral and it's the primary colors, and then you have, these are the essential, they're more like the yellows. These are more like the blues and more of the yellows and aquas. So I really like the Spectral Norm, but I wanted to see if I can get the same look from my regular Crayola color pencils. Now, I had a lot of Crayola color pencils that some were given to me and some, I had myself. So what I did is I took all my color pencils. It didn't matter if there were Crayola brand or if there were Prismacolors or anything like that. I just took a bunch of my pencils and I grouped them according to color. So these are more like my pinks. These are more like my blues and aqua. See how they look very similar? These are all my yellows. These are more like my browns and more burgundy colors. My grays, and then I used, a rubber band to keep them together. These are more my blacks and my browns, dark browns. I grouped these that look kind of my oranges, my peaches and orange. These are more my bright reds. These were a little different than these, so I grouped these together. These are more my greens, and I do have dark greens. These are more my blacks and grays. There's a lot of black. No, actually these are more my blues. And see how I kind of group them together like they will blend. If I use them, I can easily blend these. More my whites. These are more my oranges. And then I put it in this Kleenex box. Now I'm going to go ahead and put some scrapping book paper on these and decorate the Kleenex box. But I have them here for now. And then you want to get a file and one of these stumps. Another thing that you want to get is this Jamblin or Jamsol. And you can get this at Hobby Lobby. I got it for 40% off, so use your coupon on this one. So I'm going to see if I can get the same look using my color pencils that I already have. The same look as the Spectral Norm pencils. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, another trick that I want to give you is when you are using stamp, you want to use some kind of cushion. Now, this came with a packaging that I saved, and I use these as a cushion. So this will work well. If you have an old mouse pad, you can use that for a cushion. You can also use this to shape flowers. It's very good for flower shaping. And then you have this other one. So this one will also work for cushioning. And you get these when you get stuff from the mail. A lot of times you have that. These, don't throw them away, just save these. So I'm going to use this Adara. This is one of the Prima stamps, and it's the little girl. So I'm going to go ahead and use her, and I'm going to stamp her on this card. And I'm going to see if I can get a nice blended look with my color pencils that I already have. Okay, so now it's nice and dry. So what you have to do is fill in the paper. So you have to put your light tone, and you want to go ahead and with a nice sharp edge, you want to lightly, don't press too hard, you want to fill in all the ridges and the tooth of the paper with your low tone. Just like if you were doing corporate marker, just like if you're doing alcohol ink markers, you lay down your light tone, then you go with your mid tone, and then your dark tones. And then you go over it again with your light tone. So we're going to do the same thing here. Filling it in. And you're going to just lightly put a layer of your color pencils and see how that looks. Okay. So now we're going to go over with our mid-tone. Well, actually, we're going to go over with our darker tone, and we're going to shade. So let's go ahead. Lightly, don't press hard. You want to lightly shade. Okay. And another thing, you have to look at where the light is reflecting. So I have the light coming in from my right. So I'm going to shade the left side of my doll. And then here you want to shade underneath the chin area. And then underneath the dress, I'm going to go ahead and shade. And circular motion works best. And behind the calf area. This leg, we want to pretend that it's behind her. So we want to shade underneath and then shade on the left hand side, because remember the light is coming this way from the right. So you're going to have shading on the left. And you're going to layer a good amount of this color pencils. Okay, so now you have that. Now we want to blend the dark areas. We want to blend it in with the lighter area. So now I'm going to take my mid-tone and I'm going to go over it again and blend. Okay. And you're just going to go over it lightly. And see how it's blending? It's really blending right there. And I put a little too much pressure, so try not to break off the lead of your pencils. Okay, so there, see how you have a nice shading? So the next thing you want to do is, you can take your stump, and so you have, sometimes if you have color there, you on the stump, you want to use your nail file and kind of file that color of layer off. Okay. And then you're going to go ahead and dip it in the Gemsol and just apply it on your doll. And see how that looks nice, nicely blended? I really like that. So now let's go ahead and do the doll, the dress. So I'm going to go ahead and put these back so that way I don't get them confused. And oh, we can also put a color of white. If you want to do some more shading in some areas, you can also apply some white in some of the areas. And I should have done that earlier before I did the Gemsol. Okay. So you really can do the same technique with cheapy pencils, color pencils. The only thing is the more expensive color pencils have a nice creamy texture, so they blend a little easier. But you can get the similar look for a lot less, price, especially if you're on a budget. Okay. So now let's do the dress. So I'm gonna look for some colors for my dress. And I like this tone, so I'm going to use some kind of, this is more fuchsia burgundy color tone. So I'm going to look for a light, medium, and dark. So I see there's a light here. This one looks more like my mid-tone. And this one looks more like my dark. So I'm going to use these three. Okay. And I'm going to start with my lighter color. And I'm just going to fill in a circular motion. I'm going to color the whole dress. Okay. Now I'm going to select my mid-tone. Or actually my dark, I keep forgetting, you do the dark tone first. So you do the light tone, the dark tone, and then you blend in with your mid-tone. So I'm going to go ahead and put a layer of the darker tone. Again, being conscious where my lighting is going to be. So underneath the collar, you're going to have a little bit of shading. On the side, on her side, the light is coming this way. You want a little shade there. You want a little shade where the pleats are. So there's that blending, and you can see some of the low and high tones. Just blend it all together. Okay. For the hair, we are going to pick that later. One of my pencils fell. For the hair, we may want to let's use some brown. And for this one, I'm just going to use two tones. And I'm going to use this, it's more like a black color. And then a brown color. You want a nice sharp edge. A sharp point. You want a nice sharp point on your color pencils. So you carefully just gonna sharpen your tip of your color pencils. Okay. And then we're gonna take our lighter tone and just color in the hair. Okay, so now we're going to take the darker tone and we're just going to go and color the areas where, like the areas that you see hairline there, maybe on the edges. You want to go ahead and color the edges. Just to give it a little depth. Okay. So there, and then you can also go over it. Let me go ahead and use the other side of the stump. Now you got to be careful. One of the things I kind of would recommend that if you had a little container, you can go ahead and pour that in, because you don't want to contaminate it with the color. So I'm going to put some of this Gemsol here. That's a little too much. You only need a little bit, because you really don't want, when you start using darker color, some of that color can get introduced into your solution, and you don't want that. So you can put it in another container and use it to blend. Okay. And then now we're going to go ahead and put a bow. I like red, so I think I'm going to go ahead and use my red color for the bow. And then I'm going to use a lot lighter red for the inside of the bow. Maybe I need a little darker red for the outside of the bow. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with the shoe. I'm going to give her some red shoes to go with her bow. So I'm just going to put the lighter of my red. It's going to go on the whole shoe. And then the darker of my red is going to go around the edges of the shoe, or where I'm thinking that the shadow will go. So here is a nice little blending effect that you can achieve with color pencils, just cheapy little color pencils and some blending solution, Gemsol. You can also use mineral oil, mineral spirits to do the same technique, and just some paper stumps. So I hope you like this video, and I've given you some ideas of how you can use color pencils to create a similar technique as with Copic markers, all those new color pencils that Spectra Noir has that I actually love. And I may get a couple of kits every once in a while. I might ask for those, but in the meantime, you can do something similar just using your regular color pencils. So I hope you like this video, and thank you for watching. Bye now.